My dear students, my dear comrades, very, very good morning, very fresh morning. And today, other than the drama, other than the play, other than the poetry, other than anything which is earlier and previously recorded by me, for example, grammatical structures of a sentence of English language, all these things were included, and I talked about the leadership qualities as well. So many uploaded videos are there on my channel, and so grateful to you people, so indebted to you people that you really supported my this channel, my this humble effort to give you direct information, direct knowledgeable source of knowledge about English literature, English poetry, English prose, English drama, English history. And today the topic is history of English literature. Yes, my dear students who would like to do, there are 4 years MS degree, MS English degree program. They have to, 4 years degree program, they have to be very, very particular. And to take the start, remember these words. Dear students, to take the start, permit me to share it with you and to make a very humble request to all of you. Please do press the button. Please do share your views. Please do own me, own my channel, own your channel. In fact, it's not only my channel, but also your channel. We are together owning this very important interaction and the connectivity with each other, with one another. You are mine and I am yours. So your listening skill, my speaking skill, both are there. Togetherness of our relationship, togetherness of our this virtual contact, that is to pay dividends, inshallah. God willing, God willing, God willing. All right, dear students, before I take the start, humble request to all of you, and very, very important for you to understand, to keep in your mind that I am, in fact, without charging even a single penny, I am imparting, I am making my video available on a variety of English language and English literature, leadership qualities, and so many other things as well. Yes, dear audience, today's topic is the history of English literature. You know that English literature, when we talk of the history, how did the English literature start its introduction, its foundational preamble, how the English identity started recognizing itself as independently, natively, and emerging a source of knowledge as English, as the England's own nativity of the English people, that is their own. It was a gentleman back in the Old English, which is the old age, which is the Anglo-Saxon age, which is known the 6th to 11th century AD. Between these years, very independent uprising, independent awakening, independent and a little start identifying itself as natively original, genuine English history. That was taking place. The literature of English people that was also emerging, that was coming up from 6th to 11th century AD. From 6th AD to 11th century AD, there were certain, you see, a lot of things were there. Probably the morality play over there. Morality plays, miracle praise, and religiosity. Religiosity and the religious color was there. That hue was there. That was somehow that the Bible was the source of information. Bible was the source of a huge amount of knowledge that was coming. And there, in all the three parts of England, there were so many things coming in, even from the neighboring countries. So that period from 6th to 11th century AD is known as the Anglo-Saxon period. During that period, Beowulf and the Widsith, these are the two major names. And after that, Genesis is there, Exodus is there, the Wanderer, the wife's lament is there, the husband's message is there, Christ and Satan, again, yet a biblical and a little miracle and religious work was also there in the list of all early works. It was an old English writing, plays and rhyming, singing, composing, but it was originated from the Bible verses. The Bible that was to support, that was to provide the basis of English language, the verses, the some poetical composition, and it was just most of the time orally, verbally. It was somehow that was the through the speech, and there in the churches initially the pilgrims, or all those religious people to get the information from the religious people. Maybe priests were there, nuns were there, a lot of people from the religion. They started their narrating the stories, the epic poems. Maybe you see the stories. They were also there. Christ and Satan, the dream of the Rood, and the battle was there. So many other things were there, because we find after the 11th century AD is over, then the 12th century, and after the 12th century, mid of 14th century till mid of 14th century, there is 1343, they emerge, and the first recognized name of Geoffrey Chaucer, that is there in front of us. The history of English literature, where Old English Anglo-Saxon age starts giving us the first main work, that is by the foundational father of English literature, that is the Geoffrey Chaucer. Yes, dear audience, it is 1343 to 1400. 1400. That is the period of Geoffrey Chaucer and Canterbury Tales, written by Geoffrey Chaucer, and what a magnificent work was introduced. And Geoffrey Chaucer, he gives us a lot of things, and a lot of stories were narrated by Geoffrey Chaucer. True that the Geoffrey Chaucer was there in the government service, and he started his ownership with the identity, literary identity, that is the intellectual identity, that is the academic activity, that was the identity to give an independent standing there in the local talent, and that was the imaginative and style and English, old English, but it was somehow modernity was being given a shape And that is how that was there. And I personally feel that the Old English was there in the beginning. And I was talking about the Old English Anglo-Saxons. Saxons were over, and then there is a start of a Middle Age. And the Middle Age, we all know, Middle Age is full of Geoffrey Chaucer and so many other poets were there. And after the Middle Age, there is a very rich golden age of English literature, and that is the Elizabethan age. And after the Elizabethan age is next Elizabethan age hands over the literature, English literature to a Restoration age. And Restoration age, again, there is yet another bracket of time during which Romanticism was there. So the Romantic age took place, and Romantic age started giving very rich contribution, poetic contribution, prose contribution, and a lot of romantic works were seen by six romantic poets, three early romantic poets and the three later romantic poets. And all those romantic poets, you talk of Lord Byron, talk of Percy Bysshe Shelley, John Keats, and before that there were it was in fact William Black. William Black was there, and William Wordsworth, a very big name. An independent recording that would be there from my side to my students for explaining what is the beauty, what is the natural or the pantheism of William Wordsworth. That was also there, and I will talk about that romantic poetry. And after the romantic poetry, then is the Victorian age, and the Victorian age was to hand over the next bracket of era, and that was the modernity of English literature, which is known as modern age of English literature. And after the modern age, I'll talk about something very, very important, that is the war poetry, that is the war literature. That is something which was very minutely observed, and then all those infantarian commanders, they took part in the First World War, Second World War, and then practically composed their pieces of poetry. And a group of three soldiers, poets, they then emerged, and then they wrote and composed English poetry, and that I would also include in this video. Gentlemen, it's very, very important for all of you to take a very serious note of this request, that do sponsor, own, and give your comments in the comments box, because your cooperation, your love, your support is more important. It's going to give me a little prosperous support. My futuristically speaking, that I'll be then giving you more talks free of cost, no charges at all. You are not supposed to pay money, especially the students of universities, students of college, those who would like to complete their 4 years degree program of English literature, 4 years degree program of their college degree, university degree, or those who would like to sit in the competitive exams of CSS or PMS or any sort of exams that you are going to appear, and that includes the Inter-Services Selection Board. I mean the written initial test, written test, medical test, and how to prepare yourself for interview, and how to go through and how to undertake your that testimony, or you see your assessment which takes place there at the ISSBs of Armed Forces Services, that I will talk about. And you are very, very important for me, because having been there at PMA for 15 plus years, and then at Command and Staff College, Quetta for 3 years, and then at 4 cadet colleges, and then at Punjab Danish schools here in Punjab, and then you see having my experience to head the institution over there, foreign countries, and the 2 foreign countries, one Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I was located at Tabuk, and the second was Sultanate of Oman, and where I have been heading the institutions, where I know what is the real requirement, what is the dire need for enriching your inbuilt device, inbuilt talent. That is how to be a successful leader, how to be an energetic and very competent, proficient leader to lead your men, to lead the command, to lead the minds and hearts of your under command. Very, very important. Now, going back to that, History of English Literature, as I told you, is the title of my today's video. I will give you almost complete my one by one, all the 9 portions, parts and divisions that I have talked about. 8 ages, I repeat, that is the old age, and then is the middle age, and after middle age there is Elizabethan age, after Elizabethan age, romantic age, after romantic age is a very, very important, that is, no, after the Elizabethan restoration age, after restoration age is romantic age, after romantic age, Victorian age. But I talked about Elizabethan age. Elizabethan age is also known as the golden age, the golden era, during which English literature went up to the unknown heights, and then it started getting itself prosperous, more prosperous. So coming back to Victorian age, and after the Victorian age is the modern age. After modern age, I'll then talk about the Pakistani English contribution, Pakistani English literature contribution to the main English literature, how the Pakistani or the subcontinental contribution to English literature, that I will talk about, and I'll be discussing that how subcontinental contribution by the local people, by the Indian people, by the Pakistani people, by for example, a Muslim essayist started writing essays. Exactly, Gulliver's Travels. Travels once were being written. It was somehow that was at the same very time, contemporary to him were so many Pakistani literatures. For example, Rudyard Kipling, they are in Lahore, when was interacting with the Pakistani, with the Lahorites, with the budding literary figures from the Muslim of a subcontinent populated area of Punjab, Lahore. He had to pick very, very important, despite Kipling's a little reservations to entertain non-white skinned people, because he was inclined towards white skinned, his all works. But true that the black skinned, all the local people were also there, and the interaction and the relationship of white skinned people with the colored skinned with the black colored people here in subcontinent. That is one of the subjects that he has introduced. I'll be talking about that. My video will be there. Before I conclude and I beg leave, I would like to once again salute you people for the love that you people have shown, for the reverence, deep reverence that you have shown for me, for my video. Thank you very much, and please continue. Encourage me. Send your feedback. Send your share your likes, dislikes, and so many other things, so that I continue giving you my videos. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.